Hey guys, I'm Jordan and I'm pretty.
And I'm Francesca, and I'm funny. And welcome to episode one of the Pretty Funny Podcast.
We made it out of the TikTok app and into the podcast studio finally
Finally, who saw that one coming? Not us.
after like a full year.
A whole year. People have been asking me about this left and right. Like, is your podcast out yet? No, guys. You would know. I need this. I need the support.
Now you know we are
Now you know.
here and you gotta be listening every single week.
Every week. Let's give the people a little bit of an introduction because nobody knows who we are other than you being pretty and being funny, which is mostly what you need to know about us.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Jordan. Besides being pretty, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Illinois. I also lived in New York with Francesca for almost like 6, 7 years. And yeah, I live in Miami now. I'm married. I know, can you
Ugh,
believe it?
ugh.
Yeah, I know. Marriage. And I'm 29 years old and I'm in social media and marketing. And a fun fact about me is that I don't shut the fuck up. I like to talk. There you go.
Confirmed. Can confirm. She does love to talk. Great introduction. Well, I'll go next, obviously. I'm Francesca, and I am 28 years old, although 2 seconds ago I thought I was 29, and I was proven wrong by my birth certificate. And let's see, I am born and raised in New York City, Manhattan. I'm a real New Yorker. If you tell me you're born and raised in New York City and you're from Long Island, we're gonna fight. But I have been here my whole life. It's fun. I hate it now, but that's another topic for another day. And yeah, Jordan and I met through her lovely husband, who happens to be my cousin. I am single and ready to mingle. It's a really great dichotomy between the two of us, you know. Really
Yeah.
adds up that I'm the single one, which you guys will learn soon enough. But a fun fact about me is I am a horrible driver. I am scared of cars, to get in cars, to drive cars. I didn't get my license until the age of 21, and I hope to God I never have to drive another day in my life. And I know that's not going to be true, but I will walk or Uber as much as possible.
She's
Yeah.
not that bad. I mean, a direct quote from Francesca's first month of really driving on her own was, I don't understand that when I back up out of my parking spot, my tire touches the other person's tire. And I was like, excuse me, what? What is happening? I have never in my life had that happen. But let me tell you something. This girl
Never in
managed to
your
do that
life?
without never in my life have I had my tire touch another tire when pulling out of a parking spot. But you know what?
Yikes.
It's a talent.
Yikes.
It's a special talent you have because I don't think you ever actually hit any other cars. You just touch tires.
My car was like, my car elevated at one point. It was like on the person next to me's car, not a single scratch. I came down with a little magic eraser and I was like, "Skirt, skirt." She didn't know there was not a scratch on either car. And I have to like take not geography, geometry again if I want to start parking. Um, I
Geography, maybe too.
actually geography too. Yeah, that I do get lost a lot. That's another fun fact about me. Horrible sense of direction. Just absolutely horrid. So don't go on road trips with me. It's kind of what we're getting
Yeah,
at.
it's okay.
Anyway,
We compliment each other with that.
we do. You're surprisingly like really good at knowing where you're going. And I do
Yeah.
emphasize surprisingly in that one.
Listen, I know where I'm going. I may not know where certain places are in the world, even though I'm kind of well traveled and some may
Even though
say,
I'm just
but
like super smart and cultured and everything, but
sometimes I just don't know where Tahiti is or
no, you knew where
not
Tahiti
Tahiti.
was.
I knew
I
where
didn't know
Tahiti
where
was.
Tahiti
I
was.
didn't know where was the other one.
It was a bad one. I don't know. It's probably like Cuba or something.
No, I know where Cuba is. I live next door to it now. But no,
Now,
it was the country I thought that was for sure from an African country, but it was in the Caribbean, I'm pretty sure.
oh, Bermuda.
No, starts with a T.
What? It's not Tahiti?
Trinidad.
Oh, we talked. Oh, yeah, you didn't know where Trinidad and Tobago was. So true.
I thought it was in the Middle East, which makes kind of sense because, Baghdad, Trinidad.
Jordan. Yikes. No. Okay. It's like New York, New Jersey. They're next to each other. Just they both have news. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's okay.
Okay.
I've learned since.
Yeah.
Podcast. We're doing a
Back to the pod.
podcast.
Let's stop embarrassing ourselves and talk about, why did we start this podcast? Tell the people why.
Honestly, we started it because I started a TikTok account and I started telling stories on the TikTok account and then I started going live on the TikTok account. And for some reason, people like to talk shit with me on live. Like I just like to talk and people like to listen for some reason. There's nothing really crazy going on. It's just me talking about life. And it became a hit. And then Francesca would join in on my TikTok lives and we kind of got a little fan base going. And we had this one particular listener
Shout
that was
out
called
Echo.
Echo, A. And he was super supportive and was like, hey, you guys should start a podcast. And we were like, oh my God, we want to, but we're not going to release the name yet. And he goes, you know what? You guys should name it Pretty Funny. And we both passed away
Freaked
with
out.
laughter. We freaked out because that was already our plan.
Yeah, we had already decided the name Pretty Funny, and then he guessed it, which I have no idea how that happened. I'm like convinced we know Echo personally, but we didn't really tell people. So
This
I
was
don't
when we had
know.
just decided.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it was like for the exact reason.
It's kind of freaking me out because, as you know, we did just find out that one of my other number one followers on TikTok
Yes.
is someone that's related to me.
Yeah.
So now I'm questioning everything.
No, that's why I'm like maybe we know Echo too. Maybe it's just your relative in a second form.
Oh
Um,
my God.
we gotta look
Not
into
yet.
that. But yeah, it was a little hurtful because he guessed the name for the same reason that we made it. Jordan being funny, or me, sorry, Jordan being pretty and me being funny, and that one hurt a little bit. And then I got over
He
it
literally
because
wrote
I was
that
like,
out.
yeah, he was like, Francesca, you're so funny. Jordan, you're so pretty. And we know he didn't mean anything by it, but it hurt. So thus Pretty Funny was made. And it's great. It's been fun. Since we've told people, most people are like, Francesca, you're pretty too. Everyone like looks at me when I tell them, I'm like, oh. I'm like, guys, it's okay. I came up with the name, like it's fine. But thank
You
you.
did come up with the
So
name.
yeah, so it's like, self-deprecation is like the purest form of having a good sense of humor. And
Yes.
that's why I'm so funny. So I got a lot to make fun of
We're
here.
both really good with that. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
self-deprecating in some ways, but I also am like horribly deprecating to my relationship.
Self-deprecating? You just like shit your pants all the time. Sorry, that's my job
Listen,
actually.
I make your job easy, bitch.
You do make my job. You make being funny so easy. I just have to like put in little zingers and she just like tease them up and I'm like knocking them out hard. And that's why this is a duo.
Self-deprecating. I don't shit myself, but I'm self-deprecating about my relationship too much. Because I think at this point I've joked about my husband being gay so much that I'm scared. I'm like manifesting it. Because he's just pretty.
He he is very pretty. He cares about looks a lot too. Like,
Yeah.
like he has a routine. He's got like a morning night routine, like a going out routine. He's got his own
Yeah.
products. You know, if I didn't know him personally, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah. He's just a beautiful man.
He's just a
But
pretty,
whatever.
I can't really say that. He is my cousin, but I guess he's a pretty boy, pretty man. Yikes.
So I guess the reason for this podcast is not only for us to have a fun time, but also for us to, I guess, bring our energy and good vibes to the world
Yes.
and to give people another reason to feel like they're having friends over, having a girls' night, whatever, having someone to talk shit with, we're
Or
just
just
here
having
to
something to like
provide,
laugh,
yeah, the laughs.
just a little giggle. Like when we were talking about it, we were like those morning after you go out with your girlfriends and you guys were just it's crazy night, and then everyone just like meets in one person's bed, and there's McDonald's on deck, like coffees, Pedialytes, and we're all just like, oh my God, and then this happened, and then this happened. Oh my God, no way. And you're just debriefing with your girlfriends. Like that is what this podcast is going to feel like. We want our listeners to join in on the fun, submit questions, submit funny, crazy stories that you guys have experienced, all the stuff and join in. And then we'll obviously talk about it from our point of view, the crazy stories that have happened to us in our lives, the weird, intrusive thoughts that somehow leave our brain even though they shouldn't. And just a place for us all to like, you got a 30-minute commute, laugh a little bit.
Yeah. We're here to just comedic relief of life. You know what I mean?
Comedic relief of life. And
We
you
don't
can
want to
also
take
make
our
fun
lives
of
too
us.
seriously.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can make fun of us,
We
but
welcome it.
nicely.
We welcome the trolls, but be like
We
not
don't
so
welcome
much.
trolls. We welcome fans that are funny. That's the difference.
Positive
I'm gonna
trolls.
cry. The first troll we get that's like, oh my God, like she's clearly not the pretty one. I'm gonna start crying. I just gotta get it out of the way. Like
You
one
need to like brace yourself because I don't feel like we're going to be flooded with that, but you know what I mean? It's just like
I
people.
guarantee our first comment is gonna be like, Francesca, you're actually not funny, but Jordan is pretty. I'll give you that. Promise. Promise. I'm
Okay.
gonna like
We'll be
scream
ready
at the
for
beginning of
it.
the Okay. I gotta get off this topic. I'm just inviting everyone to shit on me. Jordan,
Yeah.
give me a story if you had to describe yourself that really just it summarizes. Who is Jordan?
Hmm. I feel like people may think because I'm like, oh, I'm the pretty one that like I'm just like this perfect person that like I think I am that I'm just like bopping around like do 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 I'm pretty, yeah. But really it's like I was doing that one day and then I just got hit by a bus. So that was me. And in the same year, I also was just like living my best life, partying with like Leonardo DiCaprio. And then also in that same year, meeting my husband. And then also in that same year, meeting you. So I don't know. I feel like my life is, all over the place. And during that, it's like I was shooting Fashion Week, but also serving tables and like shooting parties where it was like celebrities. And then the celebrities would be at my table. And it was just like living this crazy, like multiverse lifestyle. But
Multiverse.
I basically just am here to have a good time, no matter if it's, on a yacht with Nick Jonas, back in circa 2020 or
TBD.
2020, back in circa 2015. God,
Yeah.
so
Oh my God, 2020.
I was like 2020 something. No, 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 no. That happened a while ago. But anyways, whether it's on that or it's me, in bed with my besties, chit chatting about life, whatever. Life is good. Either way it cuts it.
So what was the best part of that year? Leonardo DiCaprio, your husband, me, or getting hit by a bus?
I mean, I think this one's pretty obvious. I think everyone's just gonna know that I would pick Francesca.
Hit by a bus.
Getting hit by a bus. It
Close
knocked the
second,
literal
me.
sense out of me.
And nobody helped you, which is like so New York.
There's many different stories you guys are gonna hear about my life, and I can't wait to tell them. They're kind of
They're crazy.
entertaining.
Sometimes
Crazy.
I'm just like, how does this stuff happen to you? And also I'm never there for them, which is like so painful. Um, do you get to hear about them?
I have a feeling it might change, but also
It better. Bitch,
we
if you
need to
get
hear
invited on a
more.
tart trip, if you get invited on a tart trip, and I am not the first person that's invited.
Guys, if I'm getting invited on any kind of brand trips, it's going to be like a part of the podcast. Francesca has to come. We have to bring our mics. We have to be having fun. We have to be talking about it. And yeah,
We're
something
a little far.
something crazy always happens no matter what the situation. So stay tuned for fun stories basically. And
That
then
is
cue Francesca talking about your life because I feel like you're equally as entertaining, just in a different font.
It's definitely a different font. My life is a little bit more like, oh, I went out on a date with another man who made me want to jump off a bridge, and and then everyone asks me why I'm single all the time, and I'm like, thank you, I'm so flattered, but I hate everybody around me. Mine is like crazy stuff happens. Like people will just like trip and then like throw a drink in my face, and it's like that's the story of my life. Yours is like I got invited on a yacht with Nick Jonas. So definitely different fonts. I might be a little bit more relatable to those watching,
Okay.
but we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, Jordan just like good things happen to her. It's crazy.
Not
No,
all.
I'm like lucky. My friends always joke that I'm very lucky and like, but like in like really unimportant things. Like we'll play video games and they're like, you always get lucky stuff and you always win. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys are all engaged and about to be married and have a great life, but but I won Mario Party.
You're winning Mario.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I had to summarize myself, like I like to think back to high school. And we always did superlatives in high school and they, I would get the same three. And it was I was voted most athletic, most likely to sign herself up for American Idol auditions, and most likely to come back to the reunion with a motorcycle boyfriend. And I think those things sum me up really well because I have horrible taste in men. I am incredibly vain and want to be famous, and I'm athletic. So,
The
what
irony
more do you
is,
need to know about me?
I've never heard you sing in my entire life, but
My
I
high
do
school
think
friends would say you're lucky for that.
I do think they chose that because you would sign yourself up for a reality TV show for sure.
Yeah, well, no, they chose it because I wouldn't stop singing and I was tone deaf and like singing. I went to an all-girls school, so like 70% of the class could sing. And then I was in like the few, like the 5% that like really, really couldn't, but would always sing, Because then there's like the other like 25%, they're like, I can't sing, I'll shut up. I would not shut up. I'd be like, can't even think of a song, but I would sing it loud and proud in our locker room, and everyone would be like, Francesca, like, you're really bad at singing, stop. And I was like, says who, bitch? Says who? I don't see y'all having a record deal either. So we're on the same playing field.
Did you ever get cast for a solo?
No, but I was Toto in The Wizard of Oz in our play, and I got to bow second to last. So a girl can
Okay.
bark. Woof.
Unwell, because I was gonna say, was your only part barking? And
Yeah,
now
except I had to get up and dance with everyone. So like I don't know, for some reason the jitterbug was in there. I'm not really sure. And I was in this like full fur costume. And I was like, the jitterbug. So I was like in on the ensemble, so I guess I sang. But I didn't have a mic.
I
I
am
bowed
unwell.
second last. I got out of all my classes because they were like, we need the leads. And they considered me a lead because I was in every scene and I didn't have a single line. It was me. It was like the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Lion, they all bowed. Then it was me, and then it was Dorothy.
Were you on all fours like the entire
Yes.
play?
Yes. I cut my foot open on a loose nail on the stage, and then I was bleeding on stage, and I was like,
Oh my God.
I also almost passed out from like a heat, like I don't even know, heat exhaustion because I was in this like gorilla suit with like stage lighting on me. So,
Literally me as Dorothy clicking my heels, and then you as my little dog that's like dying in the suit.
Dorothy, the Yellow Brick Road. I'm fucking like 4 pounds. I can't run that fast. That was me.
I'm so sorry for you, Francesca. But
Honestly, it was my claim to fame. And then the next year I was like, I'm gonna take a back seat, I'll be stage crew. And then they needed like someone to be the jail guard. So I had to dress up as like a jail guard for Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat while being stage crew. I'm like, They just couldn't let me live. They wanted me on stage.
Listen, you have all the good ideas.
Great ideas.
You
Horrible execution.
you're amazing on you would be amazing in the like production side of things or writing side of things where you're like, here's an amazing idea or here's the best way to get it done. But yeah, I mean maybe just not the best
Yeah, I'd have to hire someone to do it.
lead. Yeah.
And that's fine. That's kind of like this podcast. I saw, sorry, I saw Jordan had a knack for like just drawing in an audience. And I was like, let me hop on those coattails. And then Pretty Funny was born. So like Jordan's the lead character. And I know I'm the side character. And you know what? That's okay.
Why do I
That's
feel
my
like I'm just finding this out?
Oh, I didn't tell you that because I've told everybody else. I was like, yeah, I can't do this podcast without Jordan. I need her. She holds the audience.
Let's hope I can do it. I don't want to let you down.
Thank you. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. Because it's either like we're rich and famous or we're not, and it's pretty much it all falls on your shoulders. So don't fuck this up.
I'm really gonna push for us, I promise.
Thank you. OnlyFans, if everything starts going south.
I've been getting all too many DMs being like, what's the account? And I'm like, nope, don't have
It's
it.
ginger toes. No.
Yeah. No, I've been
carpet
getting foot
doesn't match the drapes.
emojis commented on my videos, and I'm like,
Oh,
you don't
no.
want to see these.
You
People
don't wanna see
think
those.
they can imagine what my feet look like. Not even sure that you could.
They think you're gonna be like a Disney princess, like Ariel, like when she comes onto like they think you're the Little Mermaid, so when she comes onto the rock and like she's like her little feet are so cute. No,
Or Barbies, like straight up like my
oh,
heels don't touch the ground.
touch the ground. No, Jordan's like fucking Bigfoot over there,
My heels touch the ground.
and you hear them coming. Okay,
Large and in charge over here.
we'll talk
I
about
mean,
your feet in another
shoes.
episode.
I'm like, you wish.
That is literally your fatal flaw, in my opinion. Is that like I go to visit Jordan, and so Jordan loves to dress up for context. Like one time we were like, let's go to dinner. She goes, what are you wearing? I'm like, I'm super casual. So like I showed up in jeans and a t-shirt and sneakers, like I'm super casual. And she shows up in a fucking fedora, like like a little shirt with a whole like fashion jacket, like cute little pants and heels. And I was like, sir, like you asked if I was casual. You also said you were casual. She wasn't casual. So then I go visit her in Miami and I'm like, she's like, okay, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here. You need an outfit for this. I'm bringing in like a little carry-on and I have to fit like 18 pairs of shoes because I can't use her shoes because they're 6 sizes too big. And
We did
Re-
lace you up in one of them.
we did. We did.
It
I
looked a
wore
little
them once.
crazy,
It looked a little big, but
but it was
it got the
worth it.
job done. Yeah. And then you wore them, the exact same outfit, like 2 weeks later. So good thing we have different friends.
Yeah.
Not really. Well, I feel like that really gave people a good glimpse into who we are as people and what our little dynamic is.
Yeah.
It's a little chaotic. But I think that's the truth, you know. We made a little teaser for this and we wanted to talk about adulting and like being a late 20 something and the challenges and joys of life. So like that's kind of our hope for this podcast is we're going to talk about what's going on in our lives, intrusive thoughts that might appear that we just have to let out, funny stories that happen to Jordan, that I'll just add tasteful commentary on. And we're going to include some pop culture sections in here too, because we are like little reality TV hoes. And we feel like our opinions are really important.
Yeah. And we definitely want to talk about dating, relationships, because we are on 2 different paths and we both have good perspective on each. And I think that it's quite fun to have someone that's like, you know, dating on the scene is also kind of just like really focused on themselves and doing everything based around like your own happiness right now. And then, you know, if something happens, it happens. And then, you know, I'm married, but yet, you know, in a very long-term relationship. We've been together for almost 8 years now. which is kind of crazy to think about.
It's so crazy.
But been married for almost one, and navigating marriage is definitely different than just dating for sure. But I love kind of talking about that and how you, I guess, keep your own identity outside of your relationship, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like our friendship is honestly like a microcosm of like girl friendships in their late
Hmm.
20s because
Yeah.
we're genuinely like best friends, so supportive of each other. Like we really, really are. I don't even know if we've ever had a fight. And like we just tell each other everything bad, everything good. But, career wise, we're on different paths. Relationship wise, we're on different paths. Like we're living in different cities.
Hmm.
And, but we still just like come together, support each other, like hear each other out, have an absolute blast whenever we see each other, and just like to make sure that we're both happy and having fun. And like we know that like life is freaking hard. So your friends don't
Hmm.
need to make it harder, they need to make it better. And I think that's just like the importance of girl friendships, and that's us, not to
Yeah,
get
we
all
are
emotional
like
on you.
ride or dies for sure.
Yeah. So if you guys say a fucking word about Jordan, I'll come for you.
And I will come for you, you little trolls. If you try to come say, Francesca, it's obvious. It's obvious you're the funny one, but you're barely
Yeah.
that. I will crush you.
First
I
you with
will.
your fucking
Because
toes.
I may seem nice. I may seem nice, but I have my side.
Yeah.
I
She's definitely the
protect my
fiery
friends.
one of the two of us, if you couldn't
Yeah,
tell. Yeah.
I
I'm
have a
definitely a little more
fiery
reserved.
side. If you can't tell from my hair already.
It's natural. No.
It's a dead giveaway. I am a ginger in my blood. This is not my exactly my natural color, but close enough. But yeah, no, we have so much fun together, and we're excited to like let you in on a little bit more of our life. And also a big topic I think right now in, everyone's minds always is just like navigating friendship in general and also navigating adult friendships or making new friends as an adult, especially in
Hmm.
someone who's like in their late 20s when you move to a new city or you're living in the same
Yeah.
city, but you have friends that have moved away or whatever situation you are in life.
Yeah.
In this like period of your life, it's interesting when you have to like make new friends. So that's like a huge part of this as well is like how to meet good people and also how to like hold on or let go of certain friendships in your life.
Yeah. I feel like that's really the story of both of our lives. Like I know we're both
Yeah.
going through that stuff. So we'll talk on that for sure.
Hmm.
Um, it's just scary, like being in your late 20s, I guess. It's either like you're settling down or you're in this spot where you're like everything's changing, like what is going on? And it's like everyone expects you to know what's happening. Nobody knows what's happening. And I feel like us having making light of the situations, joking about it, telling like the funny, crazy stories, but also maybe even like the real deep ones. We're
Hmm.
hoping that people that are listening can relate to them and feel like, okay, I'm not the only person going through this, or even tell us that we're not the only people going through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where this podcast goes. I'm excited to keep doing it. I think it's going to be so much fun. Um, I feel like it's our first episode. We can keep this one short and
Hmm.
sweet. Um, Jordan, you want to give them an idea of what is to come in the next couple weeks?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, we really would love to get some submissions from you guys. I think we would love to kind of have, not only questions and maybe like concerns of things that you may be going through and or things you may need advice on, but also really funny things like the craziest stories that you went through with your best friend or like a crazy dating story or something along those lines, like whatever is coming to mind. We want to be able to interact with our audience. I think that's like one of the most important things is like we want to be very transparent as to like what we're going through in life and how we can relate to what you're going through because that's friendship is like being brutally
Mhm.
honest with people. So definitely that lots of that to come, many more stories to come, many more ways of navigating, friendship and, all the different nuances of that. I would also say we're definitely going to be talking about some pop culture tea.
For sure. It's like my lifeblood. pop
Yeah.
culture just runs through me. Like that's all I think.
Francesca will definitely be leading that
The
conversation.
Bravo conversations. But you know what? This podcast is called Pretty Funny, so it's not called like tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. It's not called Cooking with Francesca and Jordan. You know, it's very open. It's going to be ever changing. So, like, if there's something you guys want us to talk about, throw it in the submissions,
Yeah.
comment on our TikToks or Instagrams, whatever. And we will try to bring it in and, like, maybe even make a whole episode kind of surrounding that type of content. But we're new to this, obviously. Give us a little bit of grace. We're figuring out how to podcast together. We're figuring out how to podcast, period, from a technical standpoint. So it's
Yeah.
just going to get better and better. And in my opinion, I feel like this one is already coming out pretty great. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed. So tune in we're going to do these weekly episodes. We have Instagram and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok is Pretty Funny Pod. And Instagram is The Pretty Funny Pod because we couldn't get Pretty Funny Pod. So I think, I don't know, did we make a YouTube yet? Probably not. But we're going to try and upload these videos to YouTube. We're going to upload this podcast to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're recording over video. So on Spotify, you should be able to watch the video as well as on YouTube. We're going to do episodes weekly, like I said. And they're just going to be fun, lighthearted episodes with your two new best friends that you want to hang out with. And
Yeah, that's us.
Pretty much it. Anything else to add?
Honestly, I just can't wait to film another episode.
Me too. Well, everybody, make sure you never forget she's Jordan and she's pretty.
And she's Francesca and she's funny.
And we are the
Pretty funny pod.
Podcast. We don't have an outro song yet, so.
Illy.